Terraria is a game I never thought I'd speedrun, but as soon as I gave it a try, I was hooked. I started grinding day after day, 6, 7, sometimes 8 hours at a time. At first I wasn't really getting anywhere. Weeks went by without any PBs. I even did a 24-hour stream, grinding Terraria the whole time and got nowhere. But all of a sudden, something changed. For 3 days in a row, I got a massive PB each day. I started literally dead last on the leaderboard and rose to being seconds behind world record. So sit back and relax, and let me tell you how I almost got world record in just 3 days. So for this first run, I'm going to do some explaining. This category is called Moonlord 1.4 Random Seed NMA. Yeah, it's a mouthful. Basically, if you know anything about Minecraft running, it's like RSG. Beat the game on a random seed on the most up-to-date patch with no glitches, no major exploits, and no journey mode, which is kind of like the creative mode in Minecraft. Now anyone who's played Terraria knows how much goddamn content there is between a fresh spawn and the final boss, so we've got some work to do. To start, I'm going to need a lot of explosives, and that means getting the Demolitionist into my house. I make 5 rooms here, for the Guide, Merchant, Demolitionist, Nurse, and 1 extra just to increase the odds they move in fast. Now I need their spawn items. I get 50 silver for the Merchant from this slime, and then bombs for the Demo Man from this chest. Now while we wait for them to show up, I scour the underground for chests, life crystals, and gems. This blizzard in a bottle I got actually ends up being huge, giving me a big mid-air jump. When the Demolitionist finally decides to show up, it's time to get going. I sell all the non-essentials to the Merchant and grab some torches, anvils, and piggy banks, then spend the rest of the money on explosives. Some grenades to protect myself, and bombs and dynamite to start tunneling all the way to the bottom of the world. But first, I'm gonna need a lot more money. I use the dynamite I already have to demolish the desert for sand, make glass out of it, then turn it all into glass walls and bottles. By combining any leftover gems I have with the glass walls, I make stained glass and sell it for absolute bank, spending the rest of my money on dynamite. And now, it's time to spam. On the way down, I keep an eye out for gold chests, life crystals, and gems still, but it's really important to mention a severe time constraint of these runs. You see, the first mandatory boss can only be spawned by sacrificing your guide NPC in Hell. Now normally you'd wait for a voodoo demon and just sacrifice the voodoo doll, but we don't have time to wait for that. We're going to try to move the guide down to Hell manually, and that can only be done at night. That means we have to get down to Hell, make a house, and move the guide there before 20:15 on the timer, or we have to wait a full 15 minutes until the second night starts, which basically kills the run instantly. In this run, I get the guide down there at around 18 minutes in, then warp back up for some final preparations. You see, once we kill the wall of flesh, hard mode starts, which means the world changes and certain items are harder to come by. This is especially true for vertebrae, which we'll need 6 of later. So we're going to find the nearest crimson and farm the monsters there for a bit. Now it's finally time for the wall of flesh. I extend out the arena a little bit, then toss the guide off a bridge. With some well-placed dynamite, I make short work of the first boss. Now that we're in hard mode, I can start blowing up the hellstone all around me using an obsidian skin potion I crafted from various plants to make me immune to the lava. With this hellstone, we'll make a molten pickaxe, which is required to spawn the next 3 bosses, a bow to combat the insane new hard mode mobs, and our first bit of armor. Now if you thought that first bit was confusing, just you wait. I needed to get that molten pickaxe so I could mine cobalt, but to spawn cobalt into the world, I need to break crimson altars. I then need to make a cobalt drill so I can mine orichalcum, which is also spawned by breaking crimson altars, and then use that orichalcum to make an orichalcum anvil, which is used to make the items to spawn the mechanical bosses from lenses, vertebrae, bones, souls, and iron. Simple, right? So after all that ore grinding, plus a little bit of mob grinding in the underground crimson, thanks Stackage for the sick mob farm strat, we have all the stuff we need to fight the Destroyer, the first of 3 mechanical bosses. However, it's still midday, and you can only fight the mechs at night, so we'll sleep for a bit, passing time 5 times faster. Now generally, I'd be really under-equipped to fight a mechanical boss here, but we're gonna cheese the absolute hell out of this one. I start by suspending a chest about half a screen off the ground, then suspend a tiny room about half a screen above that. Using this setup, the Destroyer will conveniently lunge just above the chest, eating every bit of dynamite I throw. And because dynamite can't break blocks with chests on them, I can spam all I want. Taking this boss down so easily makes this run so much more doable because now I can use the hollowed bars he drops to make a hollowed repeater, and it's an absolute beast. In fact, I'll end up using this weapon for the next hour of the run. It's that good. So we ended up making one of those 3 boss spawners I mentioned earlier, but I need to go gather more materials for the other 2. That means killing Skeletron for access to the dungeon, and thus access to bones. I'll need 30 of them, so I farmed the skeletons for a bit. Normally at this point I'd also farm Demonized for lenses, but I got lucky this run and already have 4 on me. The final piece of the puzzle is Souls of Light, so I run around the underground hollow for a while, enduring the annoyingly low 1 in 5 drop rate. Now that I've got everything, I head back up to make sure I'm totally ready for 2 of the hardest bosses in the run. I make Archery, Featherfall, Iron Skin, Regeneration, and Gravitation potions, then make a small arena and a house, for the nurse. With everything set up, I go to make my boss spawning items, and realize I use my 3rd lens making archery potions like an idiot. A short sleep and a bit of eye farming later, I use my souls, lenses, bones, and iron to make the 2 boss spawners and start the first fight. The twins are the easier boss, but definitely no pushover. Using the gravitation potion, I invert gravity, evading their projectiles and falling too fast for their charge attack to connect. Once the green eye goes into second phase, I have to make sure I don't get caught by this flamethrower. It'll melt through my tiny 160 health reserve instantly. Once the green eye goes down, the red one follows easily, made even easier with a clever box strat for his second phase. Using the hollowed bars I got from the twins, I suit up with 2 pieces of hollowed armor and get ready for the final mechanical boss, Skeletron Prime. My only gravitation potion runs out pretty quickly after starting, so to maintain my aerial mobility, I'm going to use a trick I like to call moon jumping. I fall under a platform, launch my grappling hook upwards, then cancel the grapple before I reach the platform. Normally this would get you a little upwards boost, but with a Featherfall potion while holding up, you'll go flying into the air. Using this and my Blizzard in a bottle, I keep my distance and take him out without much trouble. Now that we've taken out the 3 mechanical bosses, little pink bulbs to summon Plantera will start spawning in random places in the underground jungle. This is the most RNG part of the run because sometimes bulbs will spawn at the very bottom of the map, or even worse, not spawn at all. To help this RNG along, I sleep for a bit to give the bulbs a little time to spawn, and also to give the steampunker a chance to move in and sell me the jetpack, a huge upgrade to my aerial mobility. However, in this run, disaster struck. Gerbies will beat your 120 PB. Oh, why? Oh, this is just to be clear, when a day starts, a solar eclipse has 5% chance of happening. Dude, literally, if it just gave me 1 day, I would have a shot at this. If it gave me 1 single day of waiting, I'd be like, yeah, okay, we just go in. We hope we get lucky. But now there's no chance a Plantera bulb is spawned. Like, there's no way. It's just not going to be there. So this solar eclipse screws me. Not only does it mean I can't sleep for Plantera bulbs, but it also means the steampunker can't move into my house for that entire day. I tried my best to look around the jungle and make do without the jetpack, but I couldn't find a bulb anywhere without having slept. When a full in-game day and night had passed, I limped back to my house to finally buy that jetpack. With all that out of the way, it was finally time to get this run back on track. I flew back over to the jungle and after a few minutes found myself a Plantera bulb. I just need to spam some dynamite to set up our arena, and then we'll be ready for the fight. The first phase of this fight is pretty simple. I basically just never stop moving to avoid the constant projectiles she spits. The second phase is where things get tricky. She gets a lot more aggressive and basically just rushes you down. So this is where my arena shape comes in clutch. I made it very vertical on purpose because falling and flying up are a lot faster than moving side to side. As soon as Plantera gets too close, I fall past her to the bottom of the arena, then repeat going back up to the top. Using this strat, she goes down pretty easy. Now that I've got the temple key, the next boss isn't far off. After some digging around, I enter the jungle temple and make my way to the end, setting up an arena and grabbing a power cell from the chest to spawn the third to last boss. The Golem is probably the hardest boss in this entire run. You're forced to fight him in this tiny enclosed space. He jumps around and traps you against the walls, and fires lasers, fireballs, and rocket punches at you, sometimes all at the same time. He goes down fast, but dodging all the projectiles while trying to get hits in proves to be insanely hard. Taking him out is only the first step though, because we've officially entered the boss rush phase of this game. The lunatic cultists have spawned near the dungeon, and it's time to take out their leader. After learning all of his attack patterns, this really isn't a difficult fight. The only way it can really go wrong is if you accidentally hit one of his clones with a random falling arrow and spawn a Phantasm Dragon with 10,000 health. Oh. With some quick thinking, I switched to explosive arrows to hit multiple body segments with each shot, taking it out pretty quick. Then I finished the rest of the fight slightly more carefully this time. That's the second last boss down, but there's no time to celebrate. The lunar events have started, and that means killing 100 extremely powerful enemies to lower a pillar's shields, then taking out the pillar, and then doing that 3 more times. We'll start with the Stardust Pillar and exploit the star cells, forcing them to endlessly multiply while we chip away at the 100 enemy count before taking out the pillar. Using the blue fragments, I make a dragon staff to help me with the other 3 pillars. Next up is the Vortex Pillar. This is the only one where enemies won't attack you through walls, so we're going to tunnel down and shoot directly up, taking it out no problem. The green fragments allow me to finally upgrade my weapon to the Phantasm, and I use it alongside my dragon to take out the solar pillar on a floating platform. The solar eruption is next on the crafting list, and now, with my insane arsenal, I decimate the nebula pillar without any gimmicks. With the final pillar down, impending doom approaches, and the most intimidating, most destructive, most insanely difficult boss shows up ready to wreck my shit, and just kidding, he's actually kind of a pushover. Moonlord is a pretty hard boss on his own, but if you stay still, so does he. Not to mention pretty much none of his attacks go through walls. With all this in mind, you can just chill on top of the nurse house and spam heals all day. Of course, this costs a ton of money, but we're rich after all the bosses we've killed. When the second phase starts, I recall back to my bed and switch to the solar eruption for massive close range damage to the heart. A few more nurse heals and he goes down. What do we get? What do we get? Let's go! Holy shit, dude! Was that... Wait, I think I beat another guy. I think I was like, okay, we can get sub 230, but it's not top 3. Am I top 3? Yo! Your boys got it! Let's go! Oh, I'm close, dude. I'm close to hitting those badges. Actually, no, I did crack another thing. I'm top 5 now. That did not... I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I was not that happy with that run. It's like, it's bittersweet. Like, I'm feeling excited, and I wanna celebrate, but like, at the same time, like, oh my god. That was disgusting jungle. Like, look at this fucking temple, man. The jungle starts here. What are you doing, temple? You're drunk. Let's go. All right, so we are behind, obviously, but we can make up a lot of time. Okay, we are out of here, dude. Let's fucking go. What time do we have? -14. Excuse me? Holy shit, that was so close. We fucking did it, boys. Oh my god. My heart. My fucking heart. Okay. 3rd place, boys. Literally, I can't even milk this title for any longer. Top 3. So 2 days ago, we got a 224, which was a huge PB. I've been grinding for sub 230 for like the last week. I'd had no luck. And then all of a sudden, 224. Easy. And then, yesterday, another massive PB. 11, 12-ish minutes. 13 minutes almost, I think. 212? Fucking killing it. And now, we're going for that sub 2. I mean, if we get another PB, it's like the same as the last couple, maybe sub 2. I don't think I'm gonna get sub 2, but we'll see. We'll see. Sub 210 would be nice as well. The top 2 players are godlike. They're actually insane. Max Overpower and Daktem are insane Terraria players, and I don't think I'm going to beat them anytime soon. They're both at 156. I actually think Daktem may have PB'd yesterday. I'm not sure. I was reading chats a little bit, but we'll see. I think I'm going to be at 3rd place for a while. Okay, so I didn't know the hell I was talking about, because about 2 hours later, this run happened. I find 5 gold chests almost instantly and get my demolitionist to spawn in record time. Because of this, I kill the wall of flesh here before 26 minutes, my gold split. Next is Souls of Night, Cobalt, Mithril, and then the Destroyer. I get super lucky in the dungeon and farming Souls of Light, then crush the twins in Prime for the second gold split of the run. Now this was an insane start, but I tried to keep my expectations low. Plantera bulbs are so RNG heavy, the chances to find one right away are so low. Oh my god. It's right here. Okay, I'm a little nervous because I don't have very much health here. Holy shit, dude. I'm gonna have a fucking heart attack by the end of this, I swear. Please just kill it. 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 Thank you. Blow up, 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 blow up. Oh my god, dude. I think that's 1 second in second place. That's oh my god. Wait, doesn't he have a 156.41? Oh my fucking lord. If I didn't die on that solar pillar, man. Oh my god, if I didn't die on that solar pillar. Oh, I can't believe it, man. I'm second place.